like me better when I wasn't yours. I'm going back, I'm going back, I'm going back, I'm going back, I'm going back to who I was before. I like me better, I like me better, yeah.
Hey Golden Baes, before we get started with today's video, I just wanted to remind you guys that this is part 2. So I do have a part 1 to this huge nursing school Q&A. Make sure you go ahead and check that out because I may have answered a question that you have in that video. Also, I'm having a huge giveaway because we hit 25,000 Golden Baes, and all of the details is in that video. So make sure you go ahead and check it out. All right, let's go ahead and get started.
All right, so moving right along, the next question that I got was, hey B-Day twin, hey girl, our birthday's coming up. She said, how can we create a healthy study schedule? So the first way to create any type of schedule, whether it's a study schedule, a work schedule, or whatever the case may be, is you always want to sit down and write out all of your responsibilities. Where do you have to go? What times do you have to be there? You want to sit down and do that. And then once you do that, once you can visually see where you're supposed to be, then you can see your gaps. And in those gaps, those are possibly study times. So you also want to always make sure you have at least one day that you don't have anything to do. My day is today. It's Thursday. I choose whatever I want to do on Thursday. Do I want to record today? Do I want to, do this? Do I want to study today? It gives me that option of doing absolutely nothing also. So always look at your gaps, of course, and then you also want to create at least one day that you have absolutely nothing to do. I can give you guys my entire schedule. Maybe this may help. I'll, share my weekly schedule with you guys so you guys can kind of get an idea of what I do. So on Monday and Tuesday, I do have lecture on Zoom online from 1:30 to 4. So pretty much after 4 o'clock, I'm pretty much free. So Mondays, I do have a training session with my trainer at 6:45. So after class, I'm really just going to the gym. Really, that's really all I'm doing. And then Tuesday after class, I really don't have anything to do, so I usually just go to the gym for an hour for cardio. So Tuesday, I'm a little bit more free than Monday. You see how Monday is really like jam-packed. Tuesday, I have a little bit more free time, and I'm only going to the gym for about an hour for cardio. For Wednesday, your girl is booked and busy, okay? I have clinical all day, so Wednesday, I don't want to do anything. Once I'm out of clinical, she's done. I'm tired. I'm done, okay? So Thursday are my free days. Today is Thursday. I choose to do whatever I want on Thursday. Thursday, I am going to either record, I'm going to study all day, I'm going to do absolutely nothing. It's whatever I want to do on Thursday. Friday, I do have to go to work from 7:30 p.m. to 7 a.m. so I can study Friday morning. Saturday, I am at work 7:30 to 7 a.m. so I can study a little bit when I wake up from work the previous night. Y'all are gonna be confused now. And then Sunday, once I get home from work and I wake up, I can study. So pretty much in those gaps, I find time to study. You get what I'm saying? So you definitely have to sit down and look at your schedule and see what are those gaps. Even if it's you're studying for 2 hours. And I know this is another common question I get is, how long do you study for? And that's why I can never give you guys a complete answer, because some days I can only study for 2 hours. Either it's I'm super busy or my attention span is just like, it just depends. Some days I only study for 2 hours. Other days I am in the library for 6 hours, 8 hours. And I remember I was telling my boyfriend that, I think it was like 2 days ago, I was literally in the library from like 10 a.m. to like 5. It just depends on what I have going on. It also depends on the material that I'm studying. It just depends. If it's dysrhythmias, y'all already know. But if it's something that I'm getting the hang of and it's like, all right, I got this. I'm blowing through the readings. I'm blowing through the audios. I'm done with my concept maps. I may only be studying for 3 hours. It just depends. And that, again, is why I can never give you guys a set time on how long I study for, because one, my schedule is different. Also, if the material is just like we gonna have to stay a little longer. Then that's just what it is. So that is how you create a schedule. You do have to sit down and look at your responsibilities, write out the times, look at those gaps. Always give yourself at least one day to do absolutely nothing or to plan whatever you want to do. Also, in that day of having nothing to do, that can be the time that you go to your doctor's appointments, you make your dentist appointments. Literally, all of my doctor's appointments that are coming up are on Thursdays because Thursdays are my free day, you know? So, and then of course, it's going to be a lot different if you have kids. So that is also something you need to write out. If Junior has basketball practice, you need to say, okay, I can go pick him up, or Daddy's gonna have to go pick him up. You know, you have to sit down and look at your schedule. You can't keep everything mentally. It's a lot better if you sit down and you write it out and you can visually see, like, okay, I'm supposed to be here at this time, at this place. I'm leaving here at this time. That's your time management. You sitting down and looking at what you have to do, your time blocks. I'm supposed to be here. I need to leave here by here to get here. That is what it's going to take in nursing school. You have to know where you need to be, when you have to be there, and when you need to leave. All right, so Miss Naomi said all about your externship. So this is going to be a really quick answer. Girl, you're going to have to go watch that nurse extern video because I made a whole video. So I'm gonna keep moving on with the questions. If there's a video answering y'all questions, I am gonna refer y'all to the video. That way I can, you know, get to the questions that I don't have a video on. But you guys, if you want to know anything, and I mean any and everything about my externship as being a nurse extern, please go watch that video. And my nurse externship, by the way, has nothing to do with my school. Absolutely nothing. So extern, I know sometimes could be a little confusing. This is a paid position. This is my job. I don't have any other job. I get paid for being a nurse extern. I just wanted to go ahead and throw that out there. But girl, go watch the video. Everybody that want to know about my nurse externship, go ahead and watch the video. I made a dedicated video, and that's why, because there is a lot of questions I know you guys had about it, and that's why I sat down and I made a video for you guys, because I wanted to make sure you guys had all of the information in case you wanted to do it. So Miss Naomi, boo, you're going to have to watch the video, okay? I'm sorry. You're going to watch the video. All right, but she also asks, this is a good one. She also asks how to combat getting discouraged. So when it comes to discouragement, I get discouraged too. There are some days, and I want to say it was like last week, where I just cry. Like, I don't even know why I'm crying. It's like, girl, why are you crying now? You know, like sometimes you can just get not just discouraged, but you're just so like, I'm tired. Like I'm just ready to graduate. And that's really where I am right now. I was talking to my coworker about this the other day inside the cafeteria at 3 o'clock in the morning on break. We're so close to graduating. I'm so close to being done. I can taste it. You know that feeling? You're so close, you can taste it. Whether it's you getting into nursing school, you finishing nursing school, you finishing that prereq, you're so close that you can taste it. And sometimes it just makes you want to cry. And that's how I felt all last week. But in that moment that you feel discouraged, what I like to do is I have a vision board on Pinterest. It is private. I have a vision board on Pinterest that, you know, cuts out me having to get like the big whiteboard and like cutting out magazines. I like to make digital vision boards. And when I feel discouraged or I feel down or I feel like it's something that I can't do, first of all, I go look at that. It's like, these are all the things that, you know, you want in your life. I want this condo. I want this lifestyle. You know, I want my 12 cats, okay? Because I want 12 cats. I highly recommend, if you don't want to, you know, do the actual classic vision board, make a digital vision board and look at that when you feel down. Definitely take a look at that, because that will automatically get you in that we gotta work mood. You know, that's me. When I see my vision board and it's something that I want, it's a lifestyle that I want to, you know, live. It's like, all right, girl, what you gonna do to get there? You know? Also, I like to watch YouTube videos like you guys are watching me. Whenever I feel down, I feel discouraged, I don't feel like working, I like to watch people that are in a place that I want to be in. So I like to watch other YouTubers, because to me that's the more realistic, because it's more like, you know, every day versus watching something on TV. I can go to a specific person. I love Aaliyah's Faces here on YouTube. That's my girl, okay? I absolutely love her. And she has absolutely nothing to do with nursing. She's not even in the medical field, you know? find someone that inspires you, and in that moment you have to think back, why did we start this? Why did we start this journey? Why did you even apply to nursing school? And those answers to that question should be the reason why you get up, if that makes sense. So why did you start nursing school? Did you start it to better your life for your kids? Did you start it because you wanted a better career, a more secured career? So you need to answer that question. And if you have to, write it down, put it on a sticky note, put it on your mirror, put it on the door, put it somewhere that you can see it, and remind yourself, why did we even start this? I started nursing because obviously I want a great career. I want a secure job. And not only that, you guys know how passionate I am about nursing. So that's why I started. So whenever I get discouraged or I get upset about something, and y'all already know it's probably about dysrhythmias, y'all know that. So when I get upset, I look back like, why did you even do this, Dom? And then also on top of that, which makes it a little bit different for me, is I have you guys. Y'all don't know how much you guys inspire me. If I don't want to do something, or I just like, I'm done. In the back of my mind, I'm like, the Golden Baes. No, we got to do this for them. Even if it's just so I can inspire at least one of y'all, I'm gonna do it. You get what I'm saying? So you have to remember why you even started. That is the answer to getting through being discouraged or being down. And I have the same weeks, you guys. I had the same days. Like I said, I was very emotional last week. Don't even know why. Don't know why, but like I said, I really think it's because my body knows that we are so close to the end. Again, I can taste it. I can taste graduation. I can taste getting pinned. I can literally taste it, and it's just like, I am so sick of nursing school. You know, like, I'm just ready to be done. I've been in nursing school for 2 years. I'm just ready to graduate, and it's not that in a bad way, you know. It's just like, I'm ready to be a nurse. I'm so, like, I'm happy. I'm excited. I'm ready to be a nurse. And sometimes I can get so overwhelmed with feelings, I cry. And again, that's how I was all last week. So you have to know why you started and remind yourself why you started, whether it's your kids, whether it's the lifestyle you want to live. So you have to sit down and you have to remember the why, because it's not always going to be about school. You're not always just going to be discouraged about school. But if you start to feel discouraged and you quit every time you feel discouraged, how do you think your life is going to be? This, again, does not just apply to school. It can be your job. It can be fitness. A lot of people start the gym, they start to feel discouraged. They hop on the scale. They don't see the weight falling off. They stop. You know, it can be YouTube. It can literally be anything. You guys have to remember, when you feel discouraged, the way I think about it is, when you like feel like everything is falling apart, just know that's when you know stuff is about to turn around, because it's always, things always get the hardest right before that breakthrough. Literally right before the breakthrough, that's when stuff just gets the hardest. So remember that. Write down why you started, and then remember, right before you give up, that's probably right when you're gonna hit that breakthrough. So why give up? But most of all, you need to remember why you started. Why did you start the fitness journey? Why did you want to start YouTube? That's what you have to remember when you get discouraged. You have to pick yourself up and you have to keep going. You may cry. You may cry, girl or boy. You may cry. But pick yourself up, because again, it's not just school. That's going to be a life lesson. When you get discouraged, you can't just quit. Because if that's the case, you can get discouraged about everything. Are you going to quit everything that you start in your life? You cannot do that. So that's my little rant for today. Let's go ahead and move on to the next question. So again, I see, how do I manage a relationship and go into nursing school? Pretty much like I was saying earlier, time management, with me and my boyfriend both being in a very demanding program. He's an EMT, like I said, I'm in nursing. We have the same thing, lecture, labs. I had skills, I no longer have skills. He does. It's very hard, but you have to make time. You have to say, okay, I want to see Bae today, so I need to go ahead and knock out this paper early. You know, definitely try to get things done. I'm not going to say, you know, like while you're doing something else, but if you can, while you're riding the bike, girl, pull up Microsoft Word and start that paper. While you're at work, I know sometimes, typically around 3-4 o'clock in the morning, I'm not as busy as I am at work, because y'all, my patients be going to sleep. They've been going to sleep lately. I hope I'm not jinxing it, but around 3 or 4 o'clock, I may have like 1 to 2 patients that's still up trying to climb on the walls. But majority of my patients are you know, chilling, they're asleep. So at that time, I'm grabbing the computer and I'm just sitting there, I'm typing, I'm getting my papers done. So you definitely learn time management. You definitely learn how to, you know, try to mesh things together. Even if you and Bae have to sit in a quiet room, like just being in the room, you know, with him, like sometimes he'll be doing his own thing on his laptop, I'm doing my own thing on my laptop, but it's just getting that time in together and just being able to see him. And this sounds so mushy and gushy, but seriously, you know, just being in the room with that person sometimes is enough, because you know, you're so busy. I have a paper to write, babe, you got your skills to study, we do our own thing, but we're in the same room, it's quiet, you know, whatever needs to be done, you make it work. When you're in a relationship and your partner understands, and he of course understands because he's going through it, but even before he got into the ENT program and he understood what I was going through, he was very understanding. Like, okay, I understand you have a paper, so I can't see you today, or I understand you have clinical today, so I really can't see you today, because like I said, you guys, clinical days are my full days, those are my super long days. He was very understanding even before he got into the program himself, and you know, he had a whole bunch of stuff to do. So also being in a relationship while in nursing school is gonna show you what type of partner you have. If you have a partner that's just like, I never, you know, like me, that's a red flag. Don't get me wrong, you do have to make time for your partner, but if you just can't, you know, go out like how you used to, or you can't, you know, chill how you guys used to, it is what it is. Like, you're in school, this is important to you. So always remember, what's important to you should be very important to your partner as well. It's not just my dream, it should be their dream too, to see you succeed and see you happy. So if that means that I can't see you tonight, or we can't go out tonight, or whatever the case may be, that lets you know a lot about your partner. But also too, you want to make sure that you are creating time for your partner. Not always sitting in the house, actually going out to the movies. I think me and Bae, we went to the movies like last weekend or something. We went to see, I think it's Don't Breathe 2, super good movie, highly recommend. And then afterwards we went out to eat. So we definitely make time for each other. We text each other. Even if you guys can't see each other, that's when your texting needs to be on point. You know, like, of course you can't sit by the phone and text all the time, but say, hey babe, I'm doing this. Like, you know, just keep each other updated throughout the day. Talk to each other, be on FaceTime, things like that. When you have a partner, again, I'm gonna end it here. When you have a partner that sees that you're trying to do something with your life and you're trying to better yourself, they'll respect that. And as a man, they'll find that like, hey, she on her stuff. Like, you know, like, this is the type of girl I want. This is a girl I want. So I'm not going to sit here and jeopardize her future because I'm being selfish. But also, again, you want to make sure you're making time for your partner. We're going to go ahead and move on. That's just my little insight about, you know, being in a relationship in nursing school. I love it, honestly, because we text, we talk, we get on the phone, we see each other. Is it challenging? Yes. Sometimes I don't see him for like 3-4 days. Breaks my heart. But I know it's because we're both trying to better ourselves. If he can't see me because he needs to study, I totally understand. I'm not going to sit here and bend your arm about it, because you need to study. Bro, you need to pass. Because when it comes my time to study, when I have an exam, I'm pulling my hair out and I don't want you in the room. You know, it just, you have to understand your partner. You have to respect your partner. And then also, again, you have to make time for your partner. Don't just, you know, I'm in nursing school, I can't do anything. Really, you have to try. Put in the effort. You'll see how much of a difference it makes when you actually try. Put in the time and, you know, just, you got this. You got this. All right, so Lexi asks, what's the best way to stay organized? So when it comes to organization, I am very like, everything has to be in place. If I don't feel organized, and I think honestly that's why I never like record, or I never like film content videos, or, you know, be on YouTube. And I kind of noticed that. I was thinking that to myself the other day. I noticed in the beginning of the semester I typically fall off of YouTube and then I come back, and it is because in my mind I just feel and I feel because I feel like I'm not organized. Although I am, you know, I just have to get into my routine. When I don't have a routine, I just feel you know. So the best way to be organized, have a planner. Y'all know how much I rave about planners. I don't know what I would do without my planner. I'd be like just I'd be crazy without my planner because everything is in my planner. And as I always say, there's a difference in actually having a planner and utilizing a planner. You can have a planner, put everything in it, girl, put stickers in there, markers and pens and all this stuff. If you do not actually use that planner and look into it almost like 3 to 4 times a day, you're not utilizing it. You might as well not even have it. You just have a book with all your responsibilities in it, you know? So make sure you utilize your planner. Get a planner and utilize it. Also, when it comes to organizing as far as actual schoolwork, you want to have as many folders, as many, you know, books and notebooks as you need. So as you guys may know, I am a paperless student. When I, you know, get all of my stuff for the semester, at the very beginning of the semester, I create a whole bunch of folders. Like literally, I'll have semester 4, like for instance right now, I'll have semester 4, and then inside of that semester 4 folder, I'll have a folder just for all my schedules. So I'll have my lecture schedule in there, I have my clinical schedule in there, I have everything. I have all my due dates in there, like all my passport due dates, which are my weekly assignments. I have all of my NCO quizzes, which are the Elsevier quizzes. So I literally have folders for everything. And then getting into actual content, I have unit 1. Inside of unit 1, I have each and every, you know, concept. So I'll have tissue integrity, I'll have gas exchange, I'll have perfusion. Inside of those folders, I have the actual, you know, burns. Burns is going to go inside of tissue integrity. Perfusion, I'm going to have shock. I'm going to have, you know, hemodynamic monitoring. I'm going to have heart blocks. And then inside of like psychosis, I'm going to have schizophrenia, you know. So I am very like pinpoint when it comes to my organizing, and that is just how I operate. Once you, of course, create a routine or you create a habit, that's the main thing. You have to create a habit of being organized. Once you create that habit, it's like once you get all the materials in the beginning of the semester, I already know what to do with it. I'm creating my folders. So again, you want to make sure you have as many folders, as many dividers. If you're an actual paper student, have all of the materials that you need and literally put everything in a folder. When you get a new paper, don't just throw it in, you know, your bag. Go ahead and organize it. Don't wait. So that's probably something I should do. Maybe how to be organized in nursing school part 2. Mainly how I set up my iPad. That may be a really good video because I know when it comes to my iPad, typically I'm showing you guys how I study and, you know, like my note taking, but I really don't show you guys how I organize my things on my iPad. So I'll probably do something like that for you guys. But really what I just explained to you guys, the folder inside of a folder inside of a folder, and then the unit, that's literally what my iPad looks like. Everything is in a specific spot, and it's not just with nursing school, my personal stuff also, because you guys know I have a lot of things going on in my life. Again, my time management, I have a lot of things going on, so I cannot be unorganized. I can't afford to be unorganized. I can't, because I have so many documents, I have so many due dates. You guys, outside of nursing school, I have YouTube. YouTube comes with sponsorships. It comes with this. It comes with that. Outside of YouTube, I have my business. My business, girl, is a whole different thing. I have finances. I had to get an accountant, so I have to get things over to my accountant. I cannot afford to be unorganized. I have a folder for finances. I have a folder for all of my taxes. Y'all, being organized is, again, it's a key, not just in nursing school, it's a key in life, because once you graduate from nursing school and you get your nursing job, you're gonna have to be organized. How are you gonna have 6 patients or 5 patients or 4 patients and you don't know who has what or what is, you know, you have to be organized. You have to get into the habit of being organized. And once you get that habit, you will see how funny it is when you don't feel organized. You feel like, Alright, so moving on, the next question that I got was, would you recommend your program? How are your summer BSN classes going? Oh, girl, I've been meaning to address that second part. So let me go ahead and answer the first part first, and then we'll get to your second one about the BSN classes. So I would highly recommend my program. I absolutely love my program. Again, I do go to a state college here in South Florida. So if you are looking to go to nursing school, I highly, highly, highly recommend that you find either a community college or state college before looking into universities and private colleges. Because as you guys may know, those schools are way more expensive than going to a state college. I believe that my tuition for all of my semesters, 4 semesters, 2 years, I believe it was like $9 grand. And it is a very good program. The NCLEX passing rate, I believe, is a 98, you know? So before just going off to a university or picking these private colleges that are way more expensive, unless you have like a full ride or something like that, then girl, go. If you don't, highly recommend taking a look at those other schools first. That may mean you may have to stay at home and you can't get that college life. I totally understand some of you guys want that, but looking at it from a, you know, long-term standpoint, girl, you don't want those bills. Trust me. I know several people that have loans and they're upset, you know, and I'm grateful. You guys don't understand how grateful I am not to have student loans. That puts me so far ahead of not having to pay it back. Now, the only time that I do plan on getting student loans, and I'm still going to be applying for scholarships and grants, is when I go to get my BSN to my DNP. But if I can get all the way up to my BSN debt-free, then that's exactly what I'm going to do. So again, I highly recommend that you check out community colleges and state colleges before looking into those private universities and those, you know, regular universities that you typically would. But yes, I would recommend my program. Again, it's very affordable. The passing rate is great for the NCLEX, so highly recommend. How are my BSN classes going? So I've been meaning to address this and I just haven't. So I decided not to take my BSN classes early. So as you guys may know, I was talking about at the end of third semester, yes, at the end of third semester at my school, you are allowed to start your BSN classes. You are allowed to take 2 out of 4 of your first semester's classes. I chose not to, just because when I got out of third semester was hard, you guys. Third semester was definitely a challenge, but I got through it. I decided to give myself a break, and the person that really convinced me was my friend Kelsey. You guys know Kelsey here on YouTube. She was really the one that confirmed that I really needed a break, because when I talked to my mom about it, when I talked to my boyfriend about it, they were like, yeah, go ahead and, you know, do it. But once I told them that I decided not to, they were like, yeah, you really needed a break. You know, I think they didn't want to be the ones to tell me like, don't do it. But when I said like, yeah, I'm not going to do it, they said, yeah, you can, you know, enjoy your summer. That was really my mom's response. My mom was like, Dom, you worked hard third semester, enjoy your summer. You guys know I went to Atlanta, I went to Vegas, so I really did enjoy my summer, and I came back rejuvenated. Your girl got a 98 on her first exam of senior semester, you know, so I came back ready to learn. So that is why I decided not to take the classes early. So probably to answer a question that you may have, is it going to push me back or is it going to delay me? No, really taking the 2 classes early, it was just kind of to eliminate classes that I would have to take once I do start the BSN program, because like I said, we were only allowed to take 2 classes out of 4 of the first semester of the BSN program. So when I go in now, I would just have to take the 4 classes like everyone else instead of only having to take 2 classes. Don't get me wrong, would it have been nice to only have to take 2 classes for first semester of my BSN program? Of course, it would have been amazing. But was it even better having 3 months to do absolutely nothing, having no responsibilities, of course, other than going to work, but not having to write papers? And that's the main thing with BSN programs. There's a lot of papers. It's really just papers. Just having that like freedom, like I didn't know how much I needed it into the end of the summer, and it was just like, wow, I really enjoyed my summer. And this is another part of self-care that I wanted to talk to you guys about. Self-care is not always getting your nails done, getting your hair done. Self-care is saying no to something. Self-care is saying no if your manager asks you to, you know, pick up a shift. If you mentally or you physically don't feel like doing something, a part of self-care is saying no. And me saying no to taking those BSN classes, because you guys know I was excited. I was talking about it all the time, like, yeah, I'm gonna start my BSN classes, but I decided not to. And it's because I really needed a break. I said no, and I said, no, Dominique, girl, you're gonna enjoy your summer. That's a part of self-care. It's just saying like, hey girl, you banged out third semester, we got through it. And y'all know third semester was rough, okay? Third semester was definitely a challenge, but I got through it, and I think I know for sure I needed that break. So that should answer both of your questions. Highly recommend my program. Check out, state colleges and community colleges first. And no, I decided not to take my BSN classes because I thought me having a 3-month break was way more important than me trying to get, ahead in doing my BSN classes. And no, it will not push me far behind. Instead of taking 2 classes, I would just have to take the regular 4 like everyone else who decided not to start early. So yeah, let's go ahead and move on to the next question. Have you started planning a graduation party? Do you want one? And the answer is yes and yes. Oh my gosh, yes. That is the number one thing that I am planning. And of course my graduation pictures. Like I said, you guys, we are in 4th semester. This is it. Like, once I get that graduation date, like my invitations are going out. My invitations are already made. I just need a date to put on them. Like, literally, give me the date. Give me the date. That's all I'm waiting on is the dates. But yes, I do want to do a nice graduation party. I overheard that my school will not be doing like a regular ceremony. So that is another reason why I wanted to have a really nice graduation party and invite, of course, my nursing friends, like my study group, and even the people that aren't in my study group. I wanted to celebrate us, so that's why I want to have a really nice party. And I'm literally going to invite everybody. Like, and it's not just going to be about me graduating. It's literally going to be like a celebration for all of us. Like, I want everyone to wear their cap, their gowns. I want all of us to be in our scrubs, in our pins, and stuff like that. So I'm really excited to have my graduation party. Like, I already have all my ideas. I have everything on Pinterest. Y'all know, again, I love me some Pinterest. So your girl is ready. And of course, I will be vlogging the actual setup and all that good stuff. So that's what I'm saying, you guys. We are so close to graduating. Like, I have all this stuff to think about. My graduation pictures, like what I want them to look like, my graduation party. And yeah, I'm just excited. I'm so excited. All right, so the next question that I got from Bad Gal Pri, she said, how can I make my nursing application stand out? So the number one way, in my opinion, to make your nursing application stand out is your grades, of course, and your nursing entrance exam score. So again, I don't remember which question it was, but all of our paths are different. All of our schools are different. So I don't know exactly what they're looking for you, but I think that the nursing exam, even if you have one, again, this is why everyone is different. If you have a nursing entrance exam, you want to make sure you are doing your absolute best on it, even if that means that you have to retake it. I took it twice. The very first time that I took it, I passed it, but the second time that I took it, I got an even higher score. So that's what I mean. If you have to retake it, girl, retake it. If you have to retake some of your prereqs to get a better grade so you can up your GPA, do it. So again, I don't know what your school is looking for, but if I'm thinking correctly, that's typically what they want to see. They want to see that you did good on the entrance exam, and they want to see that you have a really good GPA. Now, what is a really good GPA? I know that's probably what y'all are thinking next. It depends on your school. That's what I'm saying. Everyone's path is different. Everyone's school is different. What your school may want, my school don't want, So sometimes I think the minimum entry GPA is a 2.5. Yes, it may be a 2.5, but are people really applying with a 2.5? No, you may have people that are applying with 3.5s and 3.8. So you want to, of course, do as best as you can. If you have to retake something, retake it. Okay, so that's really what I would think would stand out on your nursing school application. And then again, you could have to have like an interview. My school didn't have that. I have some of you that like message me about like having interviews and like what are some tips and tricks. I don't have an interview, so just see what your school wants and prepare. Just do as best as you can to prepare. If you have an interview, YouTube some interview questions and like see how people are responding. Look at how people are dressing. You want to make sure you look very professional. sleek hair. Typically you want to have your hair up, things like that. So just see what your school wants, and you want to, of course, do your absolute best. If they have an interview, the entrance exam, your GPA, and things like that. So everyone is going to differ when it comes to the application process for nursing school. All right, so moving on, the next question that I got is from Miss Zorian. She said, how often do you get assignments, tests, and projects? So as you guys may know, I do have assignments that are due every single week that we call passports. So typically we have minimum of 2. Sometimes there's 3. It just depends on how the week is set up. But we have these things called passports that are due every single week, and they are pretty much like reflections of what we're about to cover in class. So for instance, if we are going over, let's say, schizophrenia, we're gonna have a passport on schizophrenia. It may be to complete like a essay based on a website or something like that. It just depends. It's typically different every time. But yeah, so assignments every single week. Tests for this semester, like I said, I am in a 10-week class because I am now a senior. So I have a test every other week. So that's what I was saying. I have a test. I literally have 1 week to study all new material, and then I have a test the following week. I believe when I was in 3rd semester, please don't quote me, I may be a little wrong, but I think it was kind of like that too. But I think I may have had like 2 weeks to study the material. It may have been like a week and a half to study and then a test. So like week and a half test, week and a half test, that type of thing. So like a week and a half in between. And then projects, we don't get projects that often, and I think it's really because I'm in the live cohort. I know we do have an online, so I really don't know if they have a lot of projects because they are online. But since I am in person, I'm in class and things like that, I only have one project that's due at the end of the semester every single time, and it's called a QSIN project. So typically we get like a scenario, and then we have like a breakdown. Pretty much like you get a scenario, it's a group of 5, and then each person gets like assigned a portion, and then we all just put it together, and then we either create like a PowerPoint, and then we present it at the end, things like that. Projects are not really big in my school, at least as far as I've seen. And then like I said, we do have tests and then assignments every single week, so it's not something that's out of the norm. I really don't have like something that's too crazy. Also, on top of the passports, we do have quizzes. We have quizzes that are due right before the exam. I want to say it's like the day before the exam. We always know that our quizzes for whichever topics that we're covering for the exam are due. So it's nothing too crazy. It's not really like a lot of assignments. It's really just like, it's a lot of material to study. It's really not work heavy or busy work heavy. We really don't get busy work. And then of course for clinicals, we have an online assignment. Every time I have clinical, I have an iHuman assignment, so I get a new patient every single time, and then we pretty much go through like the entire head to toe assessment. We ask the patient questions and things like that. So yeah, again, it's not really like busy work. That's one thing that I do like about nursing school. It's not busy work. It's really just studying, and then also I do like how, of course, the assignments do have something to do with what I'm actually learning. You know how like you used to get busy work in high school and it used to be like, this has nothing to do with what we're learning, but no, it applies to it. And sometimes I even catch myself going back to look at an assignment because it's like, I know I wrote about this, and then I can use it to actually study. So that's one thing that I like. It's nothing too crazy. It's pretty expected in nursing school. But to some people, when you first come in, of course it's going to feel like whoom, because you're new to it. But every time I come into a new semester, it's like, okay, I already know we have passports. I know we have the NCO quizzes, which are due the day before the exam. So you'll eventually get used to it. But of course, when you are a new incoming first semester nursing student, you're literally going to feel like you are opening the door to a flame, and it's just like whoosh. But you'll get used to it. Don't worry. All right, so this is probably going to be either my second or like my second to last question, because I see right now we are already at 1 hour and 8 minutes, you guys. So this question says, do you study during summer break and winter break to retain info? If so, how do you study? Quick answer, no, I don't study. It's actually very bad that I don't study, but again, I need a break. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you guys know how hard I go. Like, I don't play when it comes to nursing school. I don't, because I want to pass and I want to actually, you know, learn a lot of things. I want to do good. So when I study during the semester, I go hard. But when it's break time, it's break time. Like winter break, I don't study. Like Christmas break, I'm enjoying my family. That's my main thing during Christmas break. If you guys did not know, Christmas is my favorite holiday. I absolutely love Christmas, and it's not because, obviously, because of gifts and things like that. Although I love to give gifts, like I love to give people gifts and watch them open it. Literally, my heart is like, I can't even explain it. But yes, Christmas is my favorite holiday. So Christmas break, I am trying to smother myself in my family. Legit. Like, I just want to be home. I want to, you know, I just love Christmas break because your family gets together, especially like my family. We do the matching pajamas. I know my boyfriend, he had a thing with his family. We did the whole like Christmas theme pajama. I was an elf. So I really take the time to enjoy my breaks, and that's what our professors say too. They say enjoy your break, you know, like typically when we're getting back into the swing of things, like maybe like 2 weeks before, I may start to open my books. But for the majority of the break, no, I am enjoying my break, and that's something that I highly recommend for you guys to do too. I know you guys want to do great in nursing school, and you absolutely can, but you need to take these breaks as a break. That's what they're there for, because once you get into it and the ball is rolling, there's no break, boo. You get what I'm saying? So you should have enjoyed that break when you had it, right? Maybe 2 weeks, like I said, maybe 2 weeks out, I may start to open up my books and start to refresh my brain. But when I'm on break, I'm on break. I'm there to enjoy my family. Thanksgiving, I want to be around my family. You know, I don't want to be worrying about this and worrying about that. Like, so I highly recommend that you actually enjoy your breaks and take them. Do not take them for granted, like literally, because you guys will see when you get in these semesters, you're going to be like, oh my God, I should have enjoyed my summer. I should have did this. Same thing with my BSN classes. Like, I would have been in my BSN classes like crying because I'm just like, I should have took my break, and then that's what I didn't want. So enjoy your breaks, you guys. You guys will do awesome in nursing school with taking your breaks. That's what they're there for. Again, they're there to give you a mental, like, you know, take your break, girl. You're gonna be good. You're gonna do great in nursing school, even with taking that winter break, that summer break. Take it. If it's given to you, take it. All right, you guys, so my last question for today is actually going to be from Sarah. She asks, what is the best way to read a textbook? Like, how should you know what's important and what's not? Also, best study tips. So I'm going to answer her last question first, which are the best study tips. And I'm actually going to recommend you to watch my study with me videos. So when it comes to studying, you guys, I have a whole routine. I have a whole process. And as you guys know, I make a bunch of dedicated videos just to studying. So I highly recommend that you check those out. I'm going to go ahead and pop one up here, my most recent one. And then also I'm going to list it in the description box down below. But in the description box, I'm not only going to list the study with me video, I'm also going to recommend a few other videos that I think you should watch as far as, you know, studying tips. I'm also going to recommend my how I take notes in nursing school. That's going to show you guys how I literally take my notes, like my step-by-step notes, especially for my paperless students. And then also I may recommend like some older study with me videos, just so you can see how my my study routine has evolved a little bit, because it has changed for sure. As you guys know, I no longer use physical flashcards just because it takes forever to create. So I did change a little bit, and as you guys see, it works for me. I do good on my exams. So I'm definitely going to include my older ones just so you can see how my routine has evolved. Also, my older ways may be something that works for you. So I'm also going to include those as well. Now, addressing Sarah's first question, which was how to know exactly what to pull out of a textbook. This is why I created my concept maps on my website, and these are for MedSearch and fundamentals. So you guys know MedSearch itself has a bunch of content. It is extremely content heavy, and that is exactly why I created concept maps for you guys, so you know exactly what to pull out of a textbook. So I highly recommend checking out that concept map on my website. Also, I did create one for fundamentals for my incoming students, because you guys know it is a different ball game than prereqs. Nursing school is a different ball game. So with you being a first semester student, you really don't know what to look for. After fundamentals, you typically have med surg, and that's why I made one for med surg, because although you've been in nursing school, it's a shift in information. You're no longer in fundamentals where you're building those building blocks. Now you're actually getting diagnoses. Now you're actually getting problems that are, you know, going on with the patient, such as pulmonary embolisms. What do you need to know about pulmonary embolism? So I highly recommend that you guys check out those concept maps on my website. They are for purchase. Again, I do have fundamentals of nursing, and I also have med surg. So that's what I use when it comes to pulling out, you know, information in my textbook. Also, I use what my professors give me. So if your professors give you a PowerPoint and they have specific things on the PowerPoint, what I like to do is typically I'm only going to focus on what they put on the PowerPoint, because that's sometimes what they're only going to hold you responsible for. So if they did not talk about X, Y, and Z surgery, I'm not going to read about X, Y, and Z surgery because you didn't put it on the PowerPoint. Not to say that's correct, you guys, and please do not mark my words with this, because I don't want you guys to be like, well, Dom said you didn't put it on the PowerPoint. No, that's just what I do. If I don't see it on the PowerPoint, I'm really not going to hyper focus on it. I may read a little, you know, about it, dibble and dabble into it a little bit, but I'm really going to focus on what are in my PowerPoints. Also, I'm typically only going to focus on what nursing videos here on YouTube are, you know, focusing on, such as Nurse Sarah and Nurse Mike over at Simple Nursing. So those are just some tips and tricks when it comes to, you know, kind of getting around reading the textbook, because I know sometimes, you guys, it's super hard to read a textbook. It's super hard to, you know, take in everything from the textbook. So sometimes you have to know what and what not to read. So those are just some tips. Definitely check out my nursing concept maps. Those are going to tell you exactly what you need. On those concept maps, I literally say, this is what you need, this is what you need, find it and put it on here. Check those out, fundamentals and med surg. Also, take a look at your PowerPoints. Typically, what your teachers put on those PowerPoints are what they want you to know. So if they say, let's just say the clinical manifestations of pulmonary embolism, take that, go into the textbook, find it, literally write it, you know. So take what your PowerPoints are saying and then go into details in the textbook. Don't just read about this type of surgery and this type of surgery, because they may not hold you accountable for that. They really only want you to know specific things. And then also take a look at the videos here on YouTube, like Nurse Sarah, Nurse Mike, and Level Up RN. They typically only cover in their videos what are super important, and they know because they've been in nursing school. So those are the 3 things that I typically use to pull information out of my textbook. Mainly my concept maps. Those are my go-tos. I love my own concept maps. I use them to this day. Again, I also hyper focus on what my PowerPoints are talking about, and then I do end with my YouTube videos from the people that I mentioned earlier. So those are the tips that I would highly recommend when it comes to reading your textbook, because you guys, y'all don't understand. I am here with you. I totally get it. Sometimes you cannot read the entire chapter. Sometimes the entire chapter, it's like, girl, what, 2, 3, 4 pages? I know, I got you, girl. So concept maps, YouTube videos, PowerPoints, those are the ones that you want to hyper focus on, and then pretty much you should be good, because that's what I do. All right, you guys, so that is going to go ahead and wrap up today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this huge nursing school Q&A. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.